People say, I want to do this for the sake of Allah. I want to do everything for the sake of Allah. And I say, that's impossible. Huh? Akhi, if you want to have sincerity, if you want to be sincere, what does sincerity mean? You do things for the sake of Allah. No. Sorry. You can't say that. That means you don't have sincerity, because everything you do should be for the sake of Allah. Let me ask you this. Famous hadith. The Prophet ﷺ describes a man who had committed many sins. Many sins. And he sees a dog that's dying of thirst. And he's about to drink himself. And he gives the dog the drink. And then he died. The man died. Where did he go? He went to Jannah because he showed mercy to the dog, yeah? Now, I think about that hadith and I ask myself, did he give the dog the drink for the sake of Allah? Did he, before he fed the dog, say, Ya Allah, this is not for the dog? Because I personally don't even like dogs. This is for your sake. Sincerely for you. Now I'm going to give the dog. Is that what happened? Why did he give the dog drink? He felt bad for the dog. He felt mercy. He sincerely felt mercy for the dog. He had sincerity. What we've done is we've taken the word sincerity and made it what? Sincerity for the sake of Allah. Sincerity approved by Allah is not the same as sincerity for the sake of Allah. There's all kinds of sincerity. I have sincerity to my wife. That's not for the sake of Allah. That's for her. I have sincerity to my mom. I love her. But I don't love her for the sake of Allah. If you tell your mom, I love you for the sake of Allah, you know what that means? Had it not been for Allah, I would not have. I mean, seriously, it's so hard otherwise. No. The Prophet ﷺ says when you smile in the face of your brother, it's sadaqah. Right? Al-basma fi wajhi akhika sadaqah. When I see a good friend, I smile. But I don't smile for the sake of, I'm happy to see him. I don't see him. Okay, akhirah. If I did that, by the way, if I smiled only for the sake of Allah, not because I'm happy to see him, that would not be sincere. That's actually an insincere smile, isn't it? There are some things you and I do purely for the sake of Allah. Ikhlas to Allah. Salah is only for Allah. Hajj is only for Allah. Teaching the Deen is only for Allah. Like memorizing Quran is only for Allah. Ibadah is only for Allah. Dua is only for Allah. You understand? But then there are some things you do for people. There are some things you do for yourself. I don't exercise for the sake of Allah. I like it. I don't play basketball for the sake of Allah. No, akhi, change your intention. If you do it for the sake of Allah, then basketball will count as ibadah. How do I change my intention? I just like basketball. What do you mean change my intention? I'm taking the shot for the sake of Allah? No. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. So what we've done is we've taken these famous words for the sake of Allah and we artificially impose them on everything in life, and then our life becomes super difficult because when you're driving to work and getting paid, you're like, I'm getting paid for the sake of the paycheck. I'm not getting paid for the sake of Allah. I'm insincere. No, you're not. Relax. Al-Kasibu Habibullah. The one who works hard is the beloved of Allah. Why? Because they are sincere to their job. They're sincere to their employer. They're sincere at their work. They don't lie, they don't cheat, they don't steal. Sincerity for the sake of Allah does not mean sincerity only to Allah. Sincerity to people, sincerity to your job, sincerity to your agreements, sincerity to yourself. All of that's acceptable to Allah. All of that is beloved to Allah. Why would the Prophet ﷺ even say something so powerful like a husband and a wife loving each other physically is an act of ibadah? No man is thinking about the sake of Allah when he's with his wife. He's not. Let's be honest. And he doesn't, hold on a second, let me just make my intention. It's just our deen is natural. It's natural. We make it artificial. We make it difficult to understand and process. What I'm going back to is some people feel when they have a particular career, that career is not for the sake of Allah. Your career should have sincere intentions. You want to do something good with it. You want to benefit someone with it. And that's okay. That's okay. There are certain things in which the intention should only be for Allah. Ibadah is the big one. Ibadah should only be for Allah. When you give charity, it should only be for Allah. But by the way, if you give charity because you feel bad for someone, is that acceptable? Yes. There are sometimes acceptable intentions. Acceptable intentions. And that's fine. Like that man who gave charity to the dog. Wasn't that an acceptable intention? Yeah. Yeah. That was completely an acceptable intention. So we have to broaden our perspective on how to think about our religion and not impose on our deen things that Allah and His Messenger ﷺ did not impose. They didn't force those things on us. We did. We took some of these definitions. We gave them an ultra strange meaning and then made our own lives difficult. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us sincere to Him and to people in all things that we do. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family.